You are not your body. A number of years ago, I was reading a book called The Art of Meditation by Joel Goldsmith. And I was reading a chapter, and it was so profound that it was too much for me to mentally comprehend. And I read for a little while, and then I closed the book and set it aside because I couldn't process the information. It was that powerful. And then a number of days later, I was driving in my car, and the chapter that I had been reading started to play through my mind. And the author had asked the reader to close their eyes and ask themselves this question: am I my feet? And maybe close your eyes now and place your awareness on your feet and ask yourself, am I my feet? Or are these my feet? Do I use these feet? And then to begin to move up your body. Am I my legs? Are these legs who I am, or do I use these legs to walk? Am I my hands? Do these hands in and of themselves have the power to give or to withhold? Do they move without my command? Or are these my hands? Do I use these hands? And then continue to move up your body. And then ask yourself, am I my name? Am I my name letters in a formation given to me by my parents at birth, letters in a formation that make the sound of my name? Am I my name, my form, my body? Am I the story of my life? All of the things that have happened to me that right now in this present moment are only memories? Is that who I am? Who am I beyond my name, my form, and the story of my life? And as I was driving, I was reading the chapter in my mind, and I was asking myself these questions. And I had an epiphany, and I began to laugh and to cry. I was weeping. I was giggling uncontrollably, because in that moment I had an epiphany. And that moment I looked out at all of the cars, at the people in the cars, and I realized that I was one with everything. I realized that the universe was expressing itself through me, that the universe was knowing and experiencing itself through my body, through my culture, my conditioning, my religious upbringing. Through all of my experiences, the universe was knowing itself uniquely through me. And I began to realize that I was a state of consciousness like everyone else, that the universe was just pouring itself through me and knowing itself through me. And that we were all of one source, of the same source, the one life that is behind all life. That if you went to the ocean and you scooped up the ocean water in your coffee cup, or in a large glass, or in a steel pot, or in any kind of a plastic container, if you were to scoop up the ocean water in all of those containers, they would all look different. They may be different shapes, colors, and sizes, but the source within each one was the same. But because the source in each one would be the ocean water, although each one looked very different. So we are knowing and experiencing ourselves through every part of our lives, through our work, through our relationships, through our career. I was brought up very strict religiously. And at one point in my life, as I began to evolve and to grow and to study and to begin a practice of meditation, my eyes began to open. And there were times when I felt resentful for my upbringing. I felt resentful for having been deprived of living a normal life, for having been deprived of celebrating holidays, being able to participate in PE at school, never having had the privilege of going to a homecoming or a prom. And at one point it occurred to me that the reason I am where I am today is because of that, because of the extreme circumstances that I was brought up under. It gave me such a hunger and such a desire to know the truth and to find out what that was, to research, to study, to meditate, to allow my mind to open. And I would not be here today had I not been brought up under those extreme circumstances, albeit there were times in my life where it was very painful and I was extremely and incredibly frustrated. I also realized that on a soul level, I incarnated here into this physical body, into my physical family, into those set of beliefs and circumstances that I was brought up under because of the requirements that I have on a soul level, because of the things that I wanted to learn on a soul level. So I have known myself through my challenges and through those trying times in my life. I've known myself through pulling away from the beliefs that I was brought up under. I have known myself to be strong, to be able to stand on my own, to walk my own path. I have known myself in my willingness to completely be willing to stand alone and to live my life alone, if it meant being able to live my truth and to walk my own path. I have known myself through my practice of yoga, through aligning my physical body, through meditation and learning to eat better. I have known and experienced myself in a different way. I have seen the incredible changes in my body, from being in a place to where I was very overweight, to where I wasn't healthy, and to being able to have the discipline to meditate every day, to exercise, to do yoga every single day. I have known myself through this experience. You know, everything in the physical world comes from the level of the unseen. If you took a tomato seed, maybe a child would come to you and say, "Mommy or Daddy, where does this tomato come from?" And you might say, "Well, it comes from a seed." And the child would say, "Well, show me the seed. What is it in the seed?" And if you were to take that seed and you were to break it open, it would just disintegrate within your hand into particles and dust. But if you were to take that tomato seed into your yard or to your garden, and if you were to move the soil away and you were to put the seed down deep within the soil and put some fertilizer on it, maybe water it and plant it in the right conditions, in the moment that you took that action, in the moment that you planted that seed, nothing seemingly miraculous would happen. There would be no fireworks. The dirt would not spray up in recognition that something wonderful had happened or magical had happened. But according to the laws of nature, if you water that soil, if you nurture it, if you take care of it, in due time, you will harvest tomatoes. Whatever we sow, we reap. It is the laws of nature. Just because we instantaneously don't see some proof that something good has happened, it doesn't mean that it's not happening, because everything is coming from that unseen realm. Everything is manifesting from the invisible to the visible. Nothing that's real can be threatened. Nothing here that we see physically is real. It's an illusion. It is an experience. You know, I've often thought that sometimes life it's like a scary movie. When you're watching a scary movie, you know that it is a production. You know that there are cameras and people are playing roles, but you can be shivering and shaking. Every sound frightens you, even though you know that it's not real. Even though you know that it's not real, you may still experience terror. And life is like that. I have evolved enough to know that when I feel fear or when I'm really frustrated with life, I know that it is not real. I know that it is an experience. But yet at the same time, sometimes it is still terrifying, but it does give me a great degree of peace, knowing that this is an experience and that I am attracting everything into my life, into my experience for the lessons that I need to learn on a soul level. And when we can take ownership of that, when we cannot cast blame, make ourselves the victim, there we begin to become very powerful, very confident in ourselves and in life. External conditions are here to be transcended so that we can give up the reliance on external conditions to make us happy. The cure for the pain is in the pain. And the wound is the place where the light enters. We are always exactly where we need to be. We are exactly where we are at due to the level of consciousness that we have acquired so far, and likely through many, many lifetimes. There is absolutely nothing that can come to us that does not belong to us. When we can realize this throughout our trials, throughout everyday life, it doesn't mean that we don't experience pain, that we don't experience fear. But there is a power, there is a peace in knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, and then you can open yourself to whatever life is bringing, to whatever the moment is bringing. You can open yourself, surrender to that, to make a peace with it, and you pass through it much more quickly. Sometimes I think it's natural for so many of us to have the fear of death. But through my walk of life, life has taught me that it's impossible for us to go if it's not our time. If it is not our time to go, we cannot go. So in light of the things that have happened here in Las Vegas, the shooting in early October, some of us have been afraid to go out. We're terrified of death. We're terrified of what may happen. You know, it's not to say that if you're somewhere and that bullets are flying and that you're in the line of fire of those bullets, that you won't be killed or you won't be harmed. But if it's not your time to go, then your consciousness will deem that you're not there. Your consciousness will deem that you are not in the line of fire. If you want to understand life at a deeper level, then open yourself and align yourself to your soul. Align yourself to the current and to the flow of truth. Take a moment to pause. And whenever you're feeling fear, whenever you're feeling pain, maybe you're having an uncomfortable conversation, maybe you're having problems in your relationship, take a moment to pause. Maybe close your eyes and inwardly open yourself. Open yourself and align yourself to that highest part of you. Align yourself to your soul. And even in that moment, say yes. Even in that moment, offer no resistance. Allow yourself to almost be enveloped by the pain, to almost embrace it, not resisting it. Taking a moment to become conscious, to know that you're exactly where you need to be. Take a moment each day to align to your soul, to align to love, to light, to truth, to peace. Take a moment to close your eyes and to affirm with me, I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth, and I know how I serve in truth. I am here. I am here. I am here. I am word through my body, this physical form. I am word through my frequency, through my vibration. I am word through all that I am in the totality of my being. I am word through each moment, through each day, through each experience. I am word through all that I see before me, every person and everything. And I align myself to the highest, grandest version, idea, and expression of myself. Word, I am word. Word, I am word through this intention. You may be thinking to yourself, I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what you are even saying. But I assure you that if you align yourself to this, if it resonates with you, there is a frequency within you that does know. Surrender to higher will each day. Every day I affirm, I am a vessel. I am a vehicle. I am an instrument of the highest good, of the highest love, of the highest truth. Live in me, through me, as me, seeing through my eyes, hearing with my ears, loving and feeling in my heart, working with my hands, and walking with my feet. Create in me a clean heart and a right spirit. I'd like to close with a beautiful passage by James Allen. Do not trouble about results or be anxious as to the future, but be troubled about personal shortcomings and be anxious to remove them. For know this simple truth, wrong does not result from right, and a good present cannot give birth to a bad future. You are the custodian of your deeds, but not of the results which flow from them. The deeds of today bring the happiness or sorrow of tomorrow. Be therefore concerned about what you think and do, rather than about what may or may not come to you. For he whose deeds are good does not concern himself about results, and is freed from fear of future ill. Thank you so much for allowing me to spend and to share this time with you. Truly, the divine in me recognizes, honors, and bows to the divine in you. On a soul level, I see you and know you with a capital S-E-E. Beyond your name, your form, your body, and the story of your life, I see you. I see you on that soul level, not with my ego, not in this physical body that I reside in, but on a soul level. I know who you are, what you are, and how you serve in truth. We are one, with much, much love. Namaste.